Okay, good evening. Welcome to the December 12th, 2023 meeting of the Hatfield Select Board. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. As usual, I'm going to open the meeting by reading our public participation policy. The Hatfield Select Board welcomes everyone to its meetings and all other public meetings of the town of Hatfield. All regular and special meetings of the boards and committees of the town of Hatfield shall be open to the public and shall conform to the open meeting law. Executive sessions are closed to the public and will be held only as prescribed by the statutes of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It is important to recognize that the open meeting law affords the opportunity to listen to the proceedings, but not necessarily participate. During meetings of the Select Board, an attempt will be made to find a balance between hearing from members of the community and conducting the required business of the Hatfield Select Board. A few announcements. I just wanted to announce that the FY24 tax rate has been approved, and it is $15.31. And the bills already went out.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're going to be printing this week
Okay.
and stuffing yet.
Okay.
They'll go out the end of this month.
Okay. Sadly, I want to recognize the passing of Stanley Sadowski. Stanley was the building inspector in town for decades. I'm not sure exactly how many years. Do you know?
I don't. I would.
And he
say
did.
maybe
He
almost
was the
30
assistant
years.
inspector. So really gave a lot of service to town. And so we did want to acknowledge his passing and send our condolences to his family. I also want to acknowledge the retirement of Jim Klepacki last week. I think Friday was his last day, 38 years. And we wish him well and thank him for his many years of service and excellent mowing. He's the mower. And I just want to remind everyone that Luminarium is December 23rd.
Yes.
Very, very close to Christmas this year, but December 23rd. I think as usual, candles get lit around 5 or 5:30. 5:30, 6 o'clock out front. Fireworks 6:15. 6:45. The fireworks will be lit off down by the pavilion. So Billings Way, access to that area down by the pavilion will be closed off around noontime. So there'll be no parking down there available for the event. But there's parking at the, high school and church. And so it should be nice. Those were the only announcements I had. No, it didn't seem like either of you had anything further. Okay, is anyone here for public forum? Come on up.
Hello, Select Board. Thank
Hello.
you. Mickey Sanderson, 3 Maple Street.
Kathy Olson, 82 Cronin Hill Road.
This should be about 3.5 minutes, but a very important 3.5 minutes. Kathy and I represent the Historical Commission. We are co-chairs. We are asking for your help and your assistance in the housing, protecting, preserving, displaying, and accessing of our artifacts. And we're here tonight because we are at a crossroads. I'm sure you've read our minutes.
We don't receive your meeting minutes.
They're on the town.
On the town's website.
Yes. And
I
that's,
haven't read the minute.
oh, you haven't. Okay. I thought that was what you kind of had to do. Anyway, for the last 2.5 years since I made a presentation here about finding again, 3.5 minutes. This is all this is going to be. A place for what I just stated. We've come at a crossroads. We are charged, Mass General Law 48D, with preservation, protection, and development of all the historical assets of this town. Hatfield created this commission. So we are here today to make a huge appeal to you to help us to find this site, to find this housing, to find this preservation area for these artifacts.
To help fund.
Lastly, almost lastly, right now we do not have adequate space for all our artifacts. I'm sure you've heard of the past storage last 4 or 5 years in trailers right over here behind the fire station. There was damage and mold. We have right now, our current storage is temporary. I asked, actually, Marlene, I know that was a last minute request to say what we've spent in the last 5-6 years.
Oh, I didn't respond to that email yet, have I?
You know, so
You asked what we spend a month.
no, over the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that, I'm
in
sorry.
the
Okay.
5 college annex, in Benson's, in storage facilities,
Okay.
trailers, and now the Diamondback properties.
Right, right.
I think the biggest thing people have to know is that right now, all these artifacts, all the storage is in 4 or 5 different places. And we still don't have a solution to this. Sadly, CPA monies are not an answer anymore. I'm a member of the CPC committee. Our last meeting, John Wilkes very aptly said that we could expect 50%, not 100% of our ask, of our matching. That's because the stamp acts, if people are not familiar, how the CPA gets money in the Commonwealth is from properties that have sold. Well, it's no, mystery. Not a lot of properties have been sold in Massachusetts. So the stamp acts revenue, the coffers, are diminished. So by all accounts, that pot is going to be greatly diminished, and we cannot count on that to provide for perhaps a property to be bought by the town, or even bought and renovated by the town. So the last thing I'd say is that we're charged with this. It's a tricky situation. We have a duty to the town to protect all the things in all the places. And right now we can't do it because we're not supported by the town, or we don't have a place. And I just like to know what the select board's opinion is. on
But we
this.
can't comment on public forum. This is a good
All right,
topic. This would be a good
all right,
topic
Let me
at
back up.
our
That's
next
great.
meeting to bring it up so we can discuss it.
All right,
But during public forum, we're not commenting on anything
right,
because we
excellent.
were
Okay.
not prepared for it.
No,
Well,
and
we're
this
gonna
is
let
the
Ed
first
talk when he
opportunity
wants
to
to
like
make
bring
it.
it forward, because I think, and what I'd like to do is not think about the past, not think about like what people have thought about in the past, or any, I don't know, history. I'd like to move forward, and I'd like to think about this opportunity for the town to really take a step forward, because it's kind of serious. We're really, really lacking. And in my presentation to you, Diane, I remember you said in that meeting 2.5 years ago that you were interested in finding a place for a permanent place, a house, or a museum for the collections. Yet here we are 2.5 years later. Funding is even tighter. I just like to see or have a further discussion on how we can remedy this situation, because we're charged by MGL and we're stuck. We're stuck. Kathy, do
Yeah.
you want to say anything more?
I think you've said a lot
Okay.
at this time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. So we will conclude and look forward to further ideas sooner than later. Sooner than later, because everything's in, I'll say this again, temporary storage, and the town is paying for this on a monthly basis, and it's thousands of dollars. It's not hundreds, it's not tens, it's thousands of dollars the town is spending on a monthly basis to keep our artifacts safe and secure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Nikki.
Nikki, I'll get that additional information to you.
Anyone else here for public forum? No. Okay, so first order of business is approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the select board meeting minutes for October 17th, 2023.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes for November 14th, 2023 as well.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, topic number one of our posted business is to meet with Chief DeKoschak, and this is regarding golf cart legislation.
Yeah, so it's no surprise to anybody in town that they've seen a lot of golf carts traveling on our streets. It is illegal to drive a golf cart on the road. There is no mechanism in the law to do so. It started with a couple of farmers years ago, which was no big deal, but it seems to have caught on to a point where a lot of people are using these golf carts to go to fishtails or to go to the store, or to come down to the concerts during the summertime. We as a police department can't ignore that for obvious reasons. We can't allow something just to continue because people are doing it. If something were to happen, I think it opens us to liability. So we started getting the word out that it wasn't something that we really approved of. With that being said, I don't disapprove of golf carts on the road, but we have to do something to allow that to happen so that it's legal to happen. So in talks with Representative Sabadosa on possibly trying to get some legislation, something that would allow the town of Hatfield to regulate these golf carts. She seemed receptive to it. I know that there are a few people in town who are very optimistic that this is something that we can get done. We're inventing the wheel here, so to speak, in Massachusetts. So if you can take other places like Florida and places like that have communities where all of this stuff is acceptable, but we're inventing the wheel when it comes to this sort of thing in Massachusetts. So that starts, the very beginning of that is us penning a letter to the legislature asking them to take this issue up, to see if, I don't know what they would call it, if it's a home rule type thing or whatever it is, to allow the town of Hatfield to allow golf carts on their roads and regulate those golf carts. That's step one. If it's something that that happens, we can then go forth with bylaws and this, that, and the other thing. I have a host of ideas that we would, that we would do to regulate these golf carts to keep people safe at that point in time, but that's later down the road. It really starts with you guys giving Marlene and myself permission to do a letter to the legislature asking for them to consider allowing us to do this.
Okay. I mean, I talked to Lindsay about it too. She was curious. She called and had some questions. And I mean, I think it's great that people are doing it. I certainly do see some kids riding around in these, a lot of kids in them, some speeding. We want to make sure that people can use them, but that it's done safely.
Correct.
So,
And legally.
and legally, and when you say regulate, because you and I have had a conversation about this, when you say regulate, it would be getting them registered with the town.
Yep.
And then
So
insured.
insurance, obviously. I believe Anna Holhut, who I would include in this whole thing.
Right.
I believe that she has an insurance company that would insure these golf carts.
Right.
And then possibly register, with the town clerk's office, just like we used to do bicycles years ago. You used to get a bike registration. We would do the same thing here. The town would come up with whatever registration fee that they felt and time frame sort of thing to register these golf carts. But, most of the bylaw would look very similar to Chapter 90 regulations that we deal with when it comes to automobiles, because
Right, the same age requirements and
licensing.
not driving while
not driving while-
impaired, you know,
Exactly.
yeah, all of that.
I think the idea is great. I'm just curious, what is the speed, top speed on a golf cart that's allowed?
It varies, whether if it's modified or unmodified, but it really does vary. I mean, I think a typical golf cart that you would see on a golf course isn't doing more than 14 to 18 miles an hour at top speed.
Now, I thought that there was some provision if you had the orange triangle on the back, but
No,
that's not
That's,
true.
yeah, so slow moving emblems. There's a bunch of different categories when it comes to these, whether it be a low speed vehicle, a utility vehicle, or this or that. Almost none of them are allowed just to drive around as regular transportation. They're all have a specific use, whether it be agriculture, farming, your landscaping type things and stuff like that. The only thing in the law with golf carts is you're allowed to cross a street from one part of the golf course to the other. That's it. There's nothing else written about golf carts, allowing golf carts or otherwise, so.
Right.
I'd be in favor of supporting a letter.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, what we're trying to do is preserve people's ability to use
Correct.
them, but make sure that, you know,
We're
it's
doing it
being
legally and
done.
it's safe, and because we have to do something, we just can't
Right.
allow this to continue.
I mean, it's different in Florida because a lot of those are gated communities.
Gated
They're not
communities,
public
correct.
roads, right? I mean, I think we should, you know, look into it and do what we, you know, can try to do so that people can continue to use these because it's really become kind of thing here.
Well, yeah, it is, and Hatfield's unique in a sense that, our highway is
Right.
a couple of miles in that direction, so the inner, the inner part of Hatfield is I would love to say slower. I'm probably going to get beat up on that because I do get a lot of complaints about people driving too fast. But I think it's something that if we start with this, it doesn't say we have to go forward with it. It just is allowing us to do it. It's at that point we put our heads together and bring more people in and come up with something that makes sense and works.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all for it. I'm very good.
Yeah, to look into it for now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you need from us, just
That's it.
that we'll
Yeah.
move forward on just investigating this. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Can we do Bob's topic? Because I know you have, there's something else on the agenda that we want to include you in the discussion, but Bob probably doesn't want to have to stay too much, so. Chief, welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So following with past practice, the select board's asked us to bring in our new full-time staff when they get hired. Gives a chance for you to meet them if you have any questions, but also for the residents to, put a name to a face when they see them out there. So this is Jacob Sanborn. He is coming to us. He lives down in West Springfield. He's coming to us with about 8 years of both fire and EMS experience. He worked up in Russell and Blandford area originally. And then he's worked for Highland and Hilltown on their ambulance and worked down in Springfield and Chicopee also for a private company. So he actually is coming to us with a fair amount of knowledge and experience. So
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Hatfield. We're definitely glad to have you here and grateful that you have such great experience. So
he
Thank
has
you for
completed
joining
his
the
training.
department.
So
we hope you enjoy it here.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm
Be
sure I
safe.
will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Be safe. Exactly. That's it. That's as hard as it gets.
That's it.
That was
I told you it's easy.
Speech.
Not really.
All right.
Well, we hope we don't see you again, quite frankly. I mean, none of us hope to see you personally, I guess
Yeah.
I should say. Not like that, yeah. Okay, so we will skip ahead a little bit, Marlene.
Okay. So under continued old business,
Mhm.
the select board has received communication from Michael, the engineer, on the Route 5 water and sewer infrastructure project. And he had visited the board during the middle of the summer and had an estimated number, although he didn't provide detail. And we asked him to look at costs and come back. So he has done that. And you have, or should have received, an itemized list from him. And it's under topic 8. Just trying to find it. So the original additional money for the project. So as we know, MassWorks has funded
Oh, I knew I had it.
an additional 1.5 million. We were grateful to receive that from MassWorks. Now fast forward, the engineer has reduced the additional cost from initially $330,880. That was again back in the summer. And the ask is $268,020.
Just
So
to be clear for townspeople, this is in addition.
in addition to the
other-
1.5, yes, it is. And that total number represents work done during the summer and fall of this year. This also includes estimated costs for the spring and summer of 2024 and the fall, which they anticipate will be final paving at that point. Most of the work now, so they are off the road, off of Route 5 now.
They were out there today.
Well, I believe they still need, because they have equipment and vehicles out there on the road, so they still require a police detail or a traffic control officer. But much of the work now is being done at the new pump station
Okay.
location.
They were out
But if there
today.
is work on the road, it's minimal, but I know that they have equipment out there.
Okay.
It takes up room, and I know the residents will be happy once that equipment is.
I really think that Michael needs to come here and explain to us why there's an additional cost after we went after the money and we got the additional money from MassWorks. And we were under the impression that's the money we needed to complete this project. And then after we got it, now we're hearing that they want almost another 300,000. I'd like that explained to me and to the townspeople of why it is, because I don't quite understand it, and I don't. And even the statement of he's stating in here $60 an hour for police officers when we were told $57. So
Well, it's 56.25.
I mean, is that changed next year? It's still 57?
No, so it's 56.25 is the
Okay.
regular rate. And that is tied with the state police rate. So it keeps all of our rates in this general area the same, so that, one's not super high, one's not super low, one's not this. So 56.25 is the standard rate. What I will tell you is there's always overtime costs with this project. That I don't know why, but there always is. So that rate is $84.38 an hour for the overtime rate.
So that's another thing he
What
can
kicks in
explain is why
overtime
there's
on a
overtime.
detail?
After 8 hours.
Right. Michael.
Done on a
stated
daily
that.
basis. Overtime is not. Okay.
Overtime's on a daily basis, yes. Yeah, and our rates are no different than anybody else's. And some have higher rates than we have, some have somewhat lower. But yeah, we tie ours directly with the state.
I mean, I feel your frustration because you hire an engineer. That's why you hire engineers for these projects.
Mr. Old did update us later this afternoon.
saw
He sent
that.
an email. He's identifying, although he does state that they had a field work employee out there, I guess, to help minimize that cost. That was this past.
It's
during
like
this
he didn't think there'd be
construction
any field
season.
work when we had the money. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, that's all. He's got to come in here and give us a good explanation. I mean, how can I explain it to the townspeople? Okay, we got you the extra 1.5 million, but oh yeah, now we need another 300,000. That doesn't, it doesn't register to me.
Yeah.
I think if I could too, I think we also need to know what the regulations are. It's a state highway,
Mm.
so it's different than a town road. You know, a town road.
Yeah, but he knows that. He's an engineer. That
But
should,
what I'm saying is do we need two people out
I
there?
was just going to ask that. Yeah.
We get away
That's a
with
good
one.
question. Do we need to have two people out
Now, if all
there?
they're doing is taking up 100 feet of road with their trucks because they're working off the road,
Yeah.
it seems a little ridiculous to have two out there.
You don't know if Mass
But I
DOT
don't know if there's a
regulates two
requirement.
people.
I know they've had a couple days that there was one.
Because we couldn't fill it.
Right.
Yeah, they asked for 2 a day.
and I mean, that's worth looking into, but that's not going to make a dent.
It's not
in
gonna
this.
make that big of a
You know,
dent,
I
but-
mean,
yeah.
and the police detail is really only a portion of, you know, these extra costs.
But we're willing to do whatever we can. I guess that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, to help any way we can, I suppose.
He also references the change order number 4, that also triggered additional costs on their end.
I mean, he was the person that was supposed to figure all this out for us and give us the figures, and we go for the money, which we did. We did our part.
Mhm.
So why weren't all these other things figured into this project?
Yeah.
That's all. That's just my question, and I'd like to have him
Phil
come
is-
here and answer
yeah.
it to us.
Phil is here. I don't know if you have anything to add or have any information.
No, I think that's right. Just have them come in and do an
It's really on Michael Ola. It's not on Phil
Mhm.
to,
No, I just
We're not
didn't
gonna-
know
yeah.
if he had any additional information or if he's had a conversation. with
let's have him
Michael.
in. I mean, he's explained it before,
Mhm.
but, and, you know, at some point, I need to know there's not another dollar that's going to be needed.
Yeah.
So let's have him come in and speak to this amount and hopefully assure us that that is, and if there's anything we can do to reduce this amount,
Mhm.
and then to be sure that there's nothing else. Are you fine with that, like in January?
As far as what now?
Are you fine with having him come in January?
I'd like to, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
fine. January's fine because they're not starting the project until April 1st, so gives us time to,
It doesn't have to be the first meeting in January. That one might be kind of
Okay.
long and,
Okay.
okay.
Nice.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay, so we are going to return to the normal order of the agenda and go to topic 3. First is a resignation. We've received a resignation from George Ashley from the Historical Commission. So my very first foray into doing anything for the town, I was working for the town, but I was on the Historical Commission, and George Ashley was on it, and that was in the 80s. I think he's come off and then gone back on, maybe. So that's too bad because he has a lot of knowledge. So we just need to vote to accept that.
I'll make a motion to accept with regret George Ashley's resignation. He's been great for the Historical Commission, and he's been fantastic at the barn, giving people tours, giving them information about the town. I mean, he's been fantastic, so that's my motion.
A second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
Make sure we send him a letter of thank you for his years of service to the town.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have some appointments for election workers. So it looks like Jean Brown and Lydia Zish are signing up to be additional election workers.
I'll make a motion to appoint Jean Brown and Lydia Zish as election workers.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ed, that's for signature. Okay, Smith Academy Park improvements. We have
Exciting news.
Richard Abbott here.
So yeah, Open Space is very pleased to receive the low bid from Kiter Builders for the construction of the pavilion here in the park. The low bid, well, it was $213,223, plus there's another $1,500 for an alternative that we're choosing to recommend both those amounts that the Board of Selectmen move forward and accept this bid. Kiter is well-known around. He does some good work. He's done work at Smith College. I know right now he's doing a outdoor project at the YMCA, and I know they think highly of him. They also have a presence in town here. They have the old, I think it's Bob Bartlett's old yard, so they're a taxpayer. So
Yeah,
that's
they're Hatfield Construction on 5 and 10 now.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Hatfield
Kiter.
Construction.
Yeah, they're at that old facility.
yeah.
Yeah, but,
That's one.
yeah,
Yep.
just,
So the construction start date is April 15th. That was centered mostly around giving some time to get the timber frames audited and delivered. That, we've heard it was like up to 8 to 12 weeks potentially from when it's ordered. And obviously they don't order it till the contract's awarded. So yeah, there we have it. There were 3 bidders, and like I said, Kiter was the low one. And we think they'll do a good job. They came to the walk, and they were the only one of the 3 bidders who came to the walkthrough we had at the park with the architect. And I think pretty much we knew right then they were interested, and I'm just glad they came in the lowest.
I
The
want
other
to
two
thank
bidders
you and Mark
were
Gillot and everybody else involved. This has been a long process. I know we
Yes.
this is
threw it back
Rich
at you
Abbott and Mark
guys.
Gillot.
We threw it back at you guys, and
Yeah.
you finally got 3 bidders, which is great. And you came under the cost of what I think we were $259 or something. You
Yeah,
had
it
I
was
forget what your
$259.
budget was originally.
And then to have it actually be a Hatfield business is
Yep.
just
Yeah.
really great.
that-
So, business
The other
we
2
know.
bidders are in the area.
Yeah, they
which
are.
is
They're all
nice.
local. All 3
So
are
we were
local, but it's
pleased to
really
get the
great. I was
3
really happy to see that
bids.
in there. So, in the end, worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, I think a lot of people think expensive for just a building like that, but under the circumstances with everything going out there, and the building is Douglas fir, which is a very beautiful wood, and it's gonna long outlast all of us. So I think we're getting a good quality building.
Excellent. So you just need a vote from us.
Yes.
You have the award notice.
To approve the contract with Peter as presented.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great,
Excellent.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yep.
Thank you. It's been a long road. Thanks for hanging in there, Rich.
There is a notice of
And Mark.
award to be signed by
Oh, yeah.
you, Diana.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Treeworks, your timing is impeccable. We're just getting to your spot on the agenda. So I don't know if you want to come forward. So at the last meeting, we talked about the agreement with Treeworks and sort of how we were maybe going to move forward. And so I guess I would just say tonight, I've had a chance to sit down and meet with McKay at length. And we are working towards a solution that I think is going to be, fair to everybody. And so I think for the purposes of tonight, I would just like to, I haven't even had a chance to mention any of this to Marlene yet, but I will be relaying our conversation to Marlene, and then we'll revisit this at hopefully the first meeting in January. We'll be looking for, redrafted documents and that sort of thing, and in hopes that we can just get this taken care of. So I did appreciate your time today.
Likewise.
Had a tour of the business, which was really interesting, very fascinating. So I will relay that to you, Marlene, and you're free to add anything you want to that.
No particular comments. Yeah, it was, thanks for your time and look forward to figuring it out.
We will, that we will
Same.
figure it out.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time today, McKay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And we will make sure we work on getting that done for them in a timely manner so that it doesn't, so I'll talk to you about that. Okay, DPW report, Phil, Garrett. Good to see you, Garrett. So these things, Marlene, I'm just gonna move past
Yes.
in here.
We'll just hold on those, of course.
Welcome. The floor is yours. This is to discuss a wage and salary adjustment.
So really, it's a new hire. Since Jimmy Kopacki has left, we advertised his position and had numerous applications. And we ended up, Garrett and I met with Teddy Casey, and he was the top choice. So we have put him on board.
Excellent. You're already working?
Yep.
That's great. Welcome.
Started this week. Thank you.
Where did you come from?
I was living in Marlboro, but I previously worked for the town of Needham
Oh,
for like 25 years. So
wow. So you know the whole municipal gig?
it's very familiar.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Excellent.
Western
Yeah,
Mass.
welcome. That's so great. Did you actually move here?
Yep, right to Whately.
Wow.
Nice area.
Excellent. Wow. Welcome. We hope you're happy here. I live right on Straits Road myself, and right on.
She
so-
waves.
What's that?
You wave when you go by.
I do wave. Sometimes I stop in, rarely, but sometimes. So, welcome.
Thank
Great.
you so
Glad
much.
to have you on board. Really glad.
Glad to be here.
And so we don't need to vote this, right?
No,
We just sign it?
You're
Marlene?
you're voting the.
We
the
are
form,
voting.
Yeah, to,
Okay.
to grant that
Okay.
higher one.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the wage salary adjustment request for Theodore Casey.
I'll second that. And welcome to the town of Hatfield.
Thank you.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So where's the snow?
It's coming.
Oh, don't.
Come on.
January, February.
Originally they said all the snow was going to be early.
I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready yet? Just like
We're ready.
personally
I'm
not
not
ready? Yeah. Okay.
Don't spoil it.
Need some.
You have the contract for Peter? Did we, or you?
It's just for me.
Okay,
yep.
that's fine.
It's the notice of award that you signed.
Right.
I will have the
contract
contract for the
later.
board.
Okay.
I'll be working on that for your signatures.
Great. So you've already started. Did you start yesterday?
Yep. Yep.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
We always try to start them a day early to see if they make it.
Yeah.
Well, you've done
Well,
good so far.
you're hanging in there so far. Yeah.
Nice.
Great. It's a nice little town, and Whately's a nice town.
Yep, nice and close.
Yeah, that's really nice. No traffic.
No traffic.
No traffic out here. Not like in Marlboro.
No.
All right. Very good. Anything else, Phil?
Well, there's another.
Yeah, there is another,
Might as well discuss it while we have.
yes. Okay. Chris, did you want to?
So it's about Malloy Avenue.
Yes.
about
So I
the
learned
speed.
today there are speed signs. It's not
There
that there isn't any speed signs. There are.
There are speed signs
Okay,
there.
yeah, initially, the
Do you live there,
communication was
Chris?
that there wasn't.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Newly installed. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Appreciate it
Okay.
very much so. Me and my wife too.
I didn't know that's where you live. So,
They're 25-mile-an-hour signs.
okay. And so are we just here to let people know they've been installed? I mean, it's a dead end for heaven's sakes, isn't it?
So the reason why I wanted to come in, well, I met with Bollinger down there and you guys got him in like 2 weeks. So hugely thank you for that. I was just seeing that road's only about 340 yards long. Like it's very short, it's small turnaround. Is there a way to maybe drop it to 20 or 15? Or if that isn't possible, could we get some of those Go Children slow signs? The only reason I ask this is Straits Depot's 25 mile an hour, Primrose Path 25 mile an hour, but those are kind of busier, longer streets. We've been having to like scream at the Amazon, the FedEx. I mean, they drive like maniacs down that tiny little road. And between myself and our neighbors with the little kids, the dog, all that stuff, it's just, sometimes it seems like 25 actually is a little aggressive. So that's all I was coming in here. Could they get dropped? And if not, could we maybe get some of those nice bright yellow Go Children slow signs? So that's all.
We could do that. I think it's an easier task to put up the children's signs
Yeah.
instead of dropping the speed.
Right,
Okay.
right. Maybe we could ask Mike to sit there occasionally or throw up the sign, the
Yeah, it's
speed
been-
board.
On the way here, they had
saw
somebody
that
pulled
too.
over right at the intersection, which is great. So
Oh,
just,
really?
yeah,
I saw it
which,
too.
I don't like to see.
I mean,
that,
I'm
but it's-
assuming the only people that go down there really are people who live there and then your delivery.
Yeah, and there's another house getting built at the end of the road now, so that's created traffic and, it's one of those, Hatfield, we take care of each other in this town. So people who don't live here, they don't care. And that's, when you get little kids running around outside and you see somebody flying down the road at 40 miles an hour,
That seems like a short street to go 40 miles an hour.
people literally fly down the road. So.
I haven't been down there. in
And you
years.
said that's a
I
dead
should drive
end
down there. I'm
street?
going to drive down. Huh?
That's a dead end
Slowly.
street.
It
You
is,
can
yeah, it's a dead end.
The second you pull down you can see the end of it. So.
Yeah.
So it's not like people are just, they can't go
There's no-
anywhere. They're not
no, there's no-
traveling.
Go.
They're
It's not
yeah.
a cut through or,
And that's why on the way here, like I drove down Primrose because I was curious. Like that's probably, I would say, one of the tightest communities in town, right? Like, a lot of houses and
Right.
one way in, one way out. And I was curious what the speed limit was there, and that's 25. Granted, they've got 10 times as much, road length probably as us, but
but also a lot more people.
a lot
Lot
more
more people
people.
coming through
And that's why if that was 20, I was really gonna push hard to get ours down to 20 or so. But they do have those nice bright, Go Children slow signs. So that's really all my wife and I care about. And limiting the trees up on the street too.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Little
You can
laundry
just let
list
us know when
of-
you're having Amazon deliver, we'll have the police up.
There we go. That's what we're gonna do. So
Yeah, I mean, so did you say there was a speed board out there at one point? Could we get a board up? I mean, I know it's not you guys, but I'm sure Mike would probably be willing to move a board there.
Actually, the police chief has ordered a couple of signs. I don't think. they're
Yeah, I don't know,
yet.
do they have them?
I mean, the speed board,
Speed board.
the
It got
the
wrecked.
flashing speed,
Yeah, he
the-
didn't get one.
Yeah, he has ordered a
Yeah, it's
couple
not here yet though?
with my, I don't believe so.
we have one, right?
we
That was
at
a
least
con-
got one
It
up
was a
right now.
conversation he and I had
Who
a couple
does?
of months ago.
There's one right up off of
Yeah.
Depot in Whately right now.
Okay,
They've got one.
yeah, actually, I
We
saw
had
that
one.
today.
I
Mike-
drive by it every day.
Mike
we
had,
have two?
Mike
We
had
had
one, but
one.
we got,
I know, I
It's
know.
it, Yeah.
Is there still the one on Prospect Street that's like up,
yes,
Is it?
but that's not a movable one, right?
that's on the pole.
That's on the pole, okay. Well, when we get them, we should ask Mike to,
Yeah.
throw a speed board
I
up.
think there's two that he ordered.
They don't move those ones that are on the pole anymore?
Just take them down for the winter.
Yeah, we take them down for the.
There used to be one in front of my house and now it's not there.
They move, they
It's
do
in,
move them.
it's on Prospect. It's been on Prospect, I
Yeah,
think,
There's
for
one
a
on
while.
Prospect and there's one over here on Main Street.
Where we see it the worst is people come over the train tracks by the post office. When they go over the train tracks, that's like, put your foot on the gas.
Oh.
That's where we always see people.
So that's on Depot.
Yeah, and then it cuts down to 25.
Yeah, it's a real straightaway there.
It's a good opportunity for police to get some speeding tickets put out there, so. And since I've talked to the town a little bit about it, again, tonight's a great example. They had somebody pulled over, which was fantastic to see, so.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be me someday and I'll learn my lesson too.
All right, so you'll just relay to Mike maybe that he
Mm.
could, run some radar and when he gets this.
Yeah,
the
he and I
sign
have had
board.
conversations and I
Okay.
know they are trying
And
to
you're
do
good
their
with putting
best.
the go slow signs up? Okay,
Good job for you.
seems like, yeah.
Wow.
Stop in and eat coffee.
Excellent.
Nice.
Okay, well, easy enough.
Thank you.
Easy enough. Great, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are just plowing right along here. So town administrator report, Marlene. Oh, sorry.
No, go right ahead.
Do you want me to stay for the last annual report for the wastewater plant
Or we can skip.
to it?
You want to skip to
Yeah,
it, Marlene?
let's do
So
that. Let's do
Phil
that.
doesn't
Okay.
have to stick around.
Because you already covered the other one for West.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
It's Marlene has it.
Oh, it's Marlene.
Oh, yeah, well, it's just, as you know, we have a grant and a loan that will be received, well, we'll have a loan with USDA and we'll be receiving a grant from USDA. So this is all federal money.
Yep.
At previous board meetings, the select board has authorized documents. We continue to receive additional legal documents, and I am forwarding some legal documents to town council. But what we have tonight for the board to approve, and it's just the signature of the chair, it's the right-of-way certificate. So yeah, it's,
Okay. Do we don't have to vote it, I just have to sign it?
actually, yeah, and I need to, somebody needs to, well, Karen, somebody needs to witness your signature. No, the board should be voting to accept and sign the right-of-way certificate with the Department of Rural Development.
Okay, and so it looks like
Through
this just
USDA.
needs to be witnessed, not notarized.
Correct,
Okay.
witnessed.
Okay, so I'll take a motion on that.
What is this with the right of way for? I don't understand. This is like an attached map? What are we giving
There
the right of-
wasn't a map. Yeah, there wasn't a map. So this would be applicable to the improvements on town property and gives the contractors and USDA
The right.
authorization to,
But it just
Oh,
seems-
see,
right
this
of
is,
way.
this, if you read it, it says this is like certifying that we presently hold
we'll have to put the town
and
seal
have
on here.
adequate rights of way, it's like us saying we have the right of way here,
But where is that?
under number 1.
But where are these rights of way? What land is it that they're
On
talking about?
private lands needed for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the facilities. So it's the work to be done on the property there.
Yeah, but to Greg's point,
What property? It
Yeah.
doesn't say that on here.
So I have not received a map.
can this wait till
Property.
January?
This is the last piece of the puzzle to
It
to
is
get it
pretty
out to
much,
bid.
yeah.
Well,
So it's the right of way at the wastewater facility plant. That's what they're talking about.
Right.
well, I mean, could we vote it contingent upon getting a
Getting a
map
map, yeah.
and making sure that it's all,
So they just
Act-
want to make sure that if there's any private land,
Correct.
but it's all town property. To the best of my knowledge, it's all town
But I mean, I
property.
think you could do that, as the chair said that. You could vote on it and then contingent of receiving the map, which we have the map, so.
Okay, I just didn't
Yeah.
receive it with all.
Yeah, it didn't come
documents.
with that, but I sure we can reach out to DPC and they can provide the exact map locations.
Right. But I guess just to clarify, Phil, there isn't any intention of taking land, right? Because, yeah,
No private land.
because yeah. Yeah, my office hasn't been notified of that. So
I'll make a motion to accept the United States Department of Agricultural Rural Development right-of-way certificate dependent on getting the map. Is that appropriate for that?
I'll second it.
A motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How about if I don't sign it until we have the map?
That's
and
fine.
we can
that's-
just verify.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it's basically saying that we're certifying that
Yeah.
we hold right of way,
Oh, and the
rights of
map,
way.
yeah, and there should be a map.
It's not
there.
any new right of way or anything like that, but, so Marlene, I can come in and sign it whenever.
Once you get the map, you can determine whether you should sign it or not, right?
I hope somebody else is going to make that determination, but yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Phil,
Phil.
thanks.
I'll reach out.
Good catch, Greg. Okay, financial report, Marlene?
It's been a while, and we're overdue for an update. But as the board knows that we hired an interim treasurer collector, and I've been meeting periodically with the interim treasurer collector, John Clark, and also with the accountant, Richard Howarth from Markham. And Richard was here on site yesterday, and the treasurer's office has pretty much wrapped up, well, they have wrapped up their records or anything due to the accountant as far as fiscal year 23 goes. And the treasurer's office is working on GASB 75, which is reporting for retirement payroll purposes. That was just completed, and that's done annually, but there's different types of reporting. And they're working on also, they've taken initial steps for the FY23 tax takings. So there'll be further information about that.
Do we have much
I don't have
in tax
a
title?
dollar amount, but I will.
Or how many properties? I'm curious.
Yeah, I know there are some.
Yeah.
And so they're working on cash receipts for fiscal year 24. Treasurer's office is doing that. The accountant, as far as FY23, he's trying to tie out a small variance with the schools. And he also has had a conversation with Tony Roselli about scheduling the audit. Of course, Tony would like to, be sure that everything for 23 is completed before he starts assigning work.
Those variances are. some of
It's a
that-
very
that's-
small
Yeah,
amount.
and it
On the
was
school, it's $2,000.
in the last audit, yeah. Okay.
There was a greater variance, if you remember, Tony had,
Right.
when he gave the audit review, and the treasurer with the accountant, they have worked on that and actually were able to reduce that.
Oh, that's
But
great.
that amount was to the good,
Right.
actually, but it is lower now.
Okay, good.
For 24, Richard has updated me that they're posting receipts and will be working on reconciling through November shortly. And they just received the November cash book from the assistant treasurer collector. And then the accountant is also working on the school's year-end report that is due also. So busy trying to get, it's taken a little longer to get FY23 buttoned up, but we've had a little bit of lapse in time in the treasurer collector's office with
But all
staff.
things considered, it seems like we're moving along. and-
We are. And of course, we submitted the recap with the entire financial team. Excellent work by all of them. And then, of course, we had the tax rate set. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I believe sending out the tax bills, well, we're not sending them out early, but actually setting the tax rate and getting the bills early is probably the earliest the town has done that in a very long time.
Nice.
Somebody reached out to me about their tax bill going up, and I didn't get mine.
No, they
But I
haven't gone
thought,
out
so
yet.
then
They
how
go
would
out-
someone know their bill's going up?
Well, everybody can pretty much expect that because the values have
No, I know, but this
increased.
person said their bill was going up by a specific amount.
They may have
I'm like,
spoke with the
oh, I
assessor's
guess that's
office and
possible. Okay.
came up with an estimated
Yeah,
amount.
okay.
But yeah, the actual tax bills have
Yeah,
not
I
gone
haven't
out
gotten
yet.
mine, yeah.
So,
Okay, well, that's a good update, thanks.
you're welcome. Next is.
I will tell
the-
you, just while we're on the subject, not to, but I have spoken with 2 members of the Finance Committee, and we've talked about really trying to streamline the process this year,
Mhm.
because last year's budget process was grueling and
Mhm.
cumbersome, and I think it was difficult on the Finance Committee, it was difficult on this board. Department heads were spending a lot of time here, and certainly people at home trying to follow along. It was hours and hours. There's got to be a way. We're going to really try to streamline it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to
Yeah.
that. Next item is to amend the 2024 annual license renewals.
Yep.
So you have in your packet all the liquor licenses for on-premise restaurants and clubs, off-premise package stores. There is the farm winery pouring permit for Black Birch.
Yep.
And then the dealer's licenses, entertainment licenses, and auto amusement licenses. Surprising, the auto amusement licenses have dwindled considerably. There used to be many of those. So
These are all, go ahead.
estimated revenues 21,000 for all these renewals.
Okay. And so I'm all of these, everything's in order, everybody's submitted everything they need to submit.
Mm-hmm. Karen did a lot of work. She had to
I
chase people
know.
down because they were late on sending in their applications.
I used to do these, so it's a lot of work, and
It
thank
is.
you very
It's
much.
a lot of work.
Okay, so we have the seasonal estimation form, which we have none. And then just this renewal certification, are those voted separately or do we just sign them?
I think you just sign them. What I would ask the board to do is vote to approve the
Yep.
annual license renewals for 2024 as presented.
Okay, and then I can start signing.
Yes.
and Passing along.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2024 annual license renewals
As presented.
as presented.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Karen, very much. And thank you to all the businesses that do business here and continue to do business here. I'm just going to keep signing if you want to move ahead.
Okay. The next item is a request to ask the board to vote to amend the all alcoholic beverages liquor license application that was granted at it was the previous meeting, right? November 14th, select board meeting in which we held a hearing on that application for Cantina at 127 Elm Street. The reason for the amendment was I'm trying to remember now, outdoor, yes, the plans. They had submitted with their application plans for outdoor dining, and there was some requirements that needed to be met, and the owner at this point has decided to just forego those outdoor plans and may reconsider it at another time.
Okay.
So this current application now removes the plans for outdoors dining,
Okay.
for outdoor dining.
That's reasonable. I make a motion, we approve the amended license application for Cantina at 127 Elm Street.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor? Aye.
Oh, yes, would the board vote to rescind their vote of November 14th?
Okay. So do we do that now?
Yes, please,
I make a motion that we rescind our vote
of November
November
14th
14th for
for
license for Cantina at
Cantina.
127 Elm Street.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to hand some of these off to you, Greg.
Okay.
Next item is a potential dates for the select board. Now, this is just for the select board to meet with departments that are under the management of the select board and not with the finance committee. I've had conversations with the finance committee, and one way to streamline this process is that the finance committee will meet with elected boards, and the select board will, as I mentioned, will meet with the other departments or boards and committees that are appointed by the select board. Those potential dates, if you don't have any conflicts, and I'm trying to keep it,
None.
I'm trying to minimize. If we need to have additional meetings, of course we will. But as, again, trying to streamline the process, I'm attempting to hold those discussions with the departments at the regular meetings that have been set between January and, I think, May. Yeah, establish those. So we would meet with department heads January 16th, February 6th, February 20th, and March 19th if necessary.
January 16th.
16th, that would be our second meeting
Okay.
of the month.
I don't have these on the calendar as select board meetings yet. Did that stuff go out?
It did. You
It
had
did?
responded, you had
But we
responded.
didn't get like calendar invites or anything yet.
No,
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Those all look fine for me.
I'll send out a meeting invite or.
Yeah, either an invite or a list, and I just
Mhm.
want to make sure I get them, because that is an extremely busy time for me work-wise, so I like to get that on the calendar as soon as possible.
Yeah, and then, if the select board and finance committee find that they need to have, a meeting, a joint meeting in between any of those meetings, or then
I think
then
we
we
should-
can talk about that. I will follow up with the finance committee chair and let her know
Okay,
how we're moving forward.
great.
But if you have any conflicts with any of these dates, they're in
the ones
blue
that-
on this
No,
schedule.
those I just looked, I don't.
Okay, all right.
Okay. That's the next round. Are these all done?
Yes.
Ed? That's the first batch. Okay.
Next item is a request that I'm making to the board to, well, there was a matter that came up regarding a member of the planning board. It's not directly related to work that he does, but it would be work that he would provide for like, say, residents. This is involving work at the cemetery commission, cemeteries, the cemetery.
To do with a planning board member?
A planning board member, work he does in his own professional field. It's not directly related to work that he would be doing for the town. He would be working with a family or, regarding deceased members. As far as burial goes.
Okay.
Landscaping, stones, work on the stones.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
So it can't be an individual. It has to be a position. In this case, it would be the planning board. And I'm asking that the select board designate the classification of special municipal employees to all members of the planning board pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 268A.
Is there any reason we wouldn't want to do this?
I can't,
Okay.
I can't come up with a
I
reason.
mean, I know we've had to
It's-
do
It's
other.
legal.
Yeah,
It's
well, oh,
legal.
yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
but I mean, I know we've had to do it before and I
We-
can't remember when.
The
It's
board
just
has
like
done it
when
for many other,
unusual-
if something comes up. And I remember years, many years ago with town council at the time. And he recommended that, all boards and committees be given that designation. Because it just, you don't know.
Well, especially in
people-
small towns, things
Towns,
come up
yeah.
with. Okay, so do we need to vote that?
Yes, please, because that has to be filed with the town clerk's office.
Okay. I will make a motion that we designate all members of the planning board as special municipal employees pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapters 268A.
A second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Marlene.
You're welcome. The next item is regarding a grant application. This is an update.
We voted this Posada thing, Cantina, right?
Yes,
This
you
it-
did.
Okay.
You did, yes.
Yeah, we did that.
Rich Abbott and I had communicated about a T-Mobile hometown grant application
Mhm.
that we thought the town could benefit from. And this we applied for funding for the Smith Academy Park improvements. And actually, the town did not receive favorable news on the award. This award is given to small towns with populations less than 50,000.
That's
And
the
the
Posada
purpose is
one.
for building stronger connected communities. And they didn't get into the details of the reason. We did not, they didn't even explain that it wasn't about, not meeting the criteria, although they do reference the criteria for selecting applicants. And the community also has to align with T-Mobile's small town strategy. It's possible there's not many T-Mobile users,
No.
from our
So you're just letting
community.
us know we applied for a
We
grant. didn't
applied
get
for it, we did not receive it. I just wanted to update, because the board did support a letter.
Yeah.
With the grant application.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried. It would have been a small amount, but it would have helped. Next item is, asking the board to consider a request from the Pro-Life Legal Defense Fund. They're requesting permission to raise a pro-life flag in Hatfield. I've talked with some other communities.
But they mean on Hatfield property,
On
town-owned
Hatfield
property.
property, correct. Something that town Hatfield does not have is a flag bylaw. And there are other communities that have passed flag bylaws. So I don't know if that's something the board would like to consider. But anyway, the request, that could be another meeting if you'd like to discuss,
I mean, I just don't think we should be putting any flags up for any
the board
organization.
in the past has taken a position not to get involved in
Yeah, I just,
personal
I mean, I
choice
just don't,
decisions.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that
Mhm.
because,
Mhm.
I tend to agree with you.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, I will respond that, board's position is to, not get involved.
I mean, I could just see all kinds of requests from all different kinds of organizations and,
Mhm.
but let's also do a policy. Think about, getting a draft of a policy for flags, or even, I know we've had some discussion about signs and that, I think that might be different than flags, but, maybe we should discuss that again.
Okay.
Mhm.
Looks like that's it.
Yeah, that is it. We've covered continued old business, and
That completes, well, I guess before we adjourn, I would just wish everybody happy holidays and happy new year, because we won't have a meeting.
I like to wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy
Christmas.
holidays,
Yes.
happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. And
And I hope to see everybody at Luminarium. It's
mhm,
always a great time.
mhm.
Hope to see all the board at Luminarium. It's a great time.
Yes. Awesome.
So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, John. Thanks, Karen.